kid. You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before.
Hi, welcome again to Why You Should Watch. This time we will cover about Anime World Trigger series, the most underrated shonen anime manga. Why it becomes underrated we will discuss it in this video. Also I will also cover up everything about this series. Just like last time in my other video which I cover about Eden Zero. The sci-fi genre in Jump Line magazine is really underutilized. When you know how to utilize the genre you get a series like World Trigger, the most balanced series out there. From the character to world building, and power system, everything is well constructed and not forced. But many people drop this series from the start, which is a big mistake. There is a rule out there: if that anime has a 20+ episodes, never judge by the first to 10 episodes. Example Hunter x Hunter, the first 10 episodes are really slow. But after that, you really got hooked by the character and the story. And after that, the story just getting better each arc and episode. This is also applied for World Trigger, from the world building to the power system. And all the character in this series has its own depth and feel alive. Everything is well thought and written. That's why you need that slow pace at the start of the series to build that foundation first. Okay, let us start to introduce who is behind the work for World Trigger. World Trigger is written and illustrated by Daisuke Ashihara, born February 13, 1981, is a Japanese manga artist known for Super Dog Riley and World Trigger. Before the series becomes World Trigger, it starts as a one-shots called Trigger Keeper, which releases on Weekly Shonen Jump January 19, 2009. After that, it becomes serialized, known as World Trigger, first released on February 9, 2013, Weekly Shonen Jump. Due to health issues on the part of the author, it was put on hiatus after the 50th issue in November 2016. Then it was transferred to Jump Square on December 4, 2018. The studio behind the anime television series adaptation is produced by Toei Animation, was aired on TV Asahi from October 2014 to April 2016. The second season aired from January to April 2021, and the third season will start premiere in October 2021. In case you don't know, there are 3 major producing animation studios in Japan. The studios are Kyoto Animation, Toei Animation, and A1 Pictures. Toei Animation is known for its work for One Piece, Dragon Ball, and many classic series. Toei Animation love to take the long-running project which causing quality to become poor due to overworking and deadlines. Toei has to produce these episodes quickly, and since they are hand-drawn, the quality dips significantly, but that in the past these days Toei has redeemed itself back by improving the quality again. Example latest One Piece episode and the remake for Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai. It's time to dive into the story, plot and setting for this series. In Mikado City has around 280,000 inhabitants, a gate to a different world suddenly opens. One day monsters called neighbors, also known as near-world people, start appearing from the gate. Humans are overwhelmed at first when their weapons are found to be useless against neighbors, until a mysterious organization appears that is able to repel the neighbors' attacks. The organization is called the National Defense Agency, or known as Border, and the organization has appropriated the neighbor technology called triggers, which allows the user to channel internal energy called Tryon, and use it as a weapon and all kind other purposes. By activating a trigger, the body of users is replaced by a battle body made of Tryon, which is stronger and more resistant. Four years later, people in Mikado City have grown used to the occasional battles with the neighbors, and have returned more or less to their everyday lives. Border organization has become popular. One day, a mysterious white-haired student named Yuma Kuga and his partner Replica transfer to the local school. Yuma is actually a strong humanoid neighbor who is equipped with a black trigger. He comes to this world to fulfill his father's last wish. In the school, he meets another student, Osamu Mikumo, who is secretly a C-class boarder trainee. Since Kuga is completely oblivious about life in Mikado City, it falls to Mikumo to guide him through it, and to prevent him from being discovered by border organization. Character. World Trigger Universe characters' design at first glance might seem like not that impressive. According to Daisuke Ashihara comment on Weekly Shonen Jump author comment, May 20, 2013, my assistants are using the new 3DS game Tomodachi Collection to create World Trigger characters. They look really good. Don't let all that character design fool you with its look. Each character in World Trigger has its part and team. Instead of looking at it as a supporting character, look at it as a character that helps our main character grow. In this universe, every character in this world has its own perks and weakness. Even if at first you see that character are to overpower, there always a way to overcome it with the power system that well constructed by the author. All the character in this series has its role and proceed with it, that what's make it feel alive and has a depth to that character personalities. Yuma Kuga is one of the four main characters. He is a young mysterious neighbor child and also one of the two ace attackers in the rookie B-rank team of Tamakoma Second Squad. At first, Yuma seems like a typical overpower character, but in World Trigger World, you cannot take down a whole squad alone because of the power system that implant in this universe. In the end, it up the character battle experience and knowledge to become stronger. If the character Tryon run out you in the end you are just a normal human. Osamu Mikumo. He is a modest high schooler who had originally joined Border, in hopes of protecting his friend Chika, but quickly becomes the captain and shooter of Tamakoma Second. He is the brain of the team. Osamu born with low amount Tryon in his body, that doesn't make him stop becoming a border agent. He used his knowledge and all his Tryon efficiently, to support the team achieve the goal. Without Osamu it might be hard for Chika and Yuma to rank up to B-class. Chika amatory heroine of the series. She is a B-rank sniper and a member of Tamakoma Second. Chika is a beginner at using triggers but born with high amount Tryon in her body. According to Osamu, she has a high focus and dedication which helps her to become a sniper. The character in this series is all well written to support each other. It's not all about bulldozing to the front line and suddenly power up. If Yuma is engaging in the battle 1 versus 1 it is probably easy for him, but if he engaging in the battle with 1 versus 2 or 3 he probably will have a hard time. Because each team has its class and perk, that's why Yuma needs someone like Osamu who will support during the battle and Chika role as a sniper to make the enemies feel unsafe, while running around battling Yuma and Osamu. At first other factions might seem like an enemy, but the truth is every single character is just a rival that helps each other to grow and become stronger when facing the actual invasion of the neighbor. When all the border faction team up fighting neighbor it's just really pure action, strategy, creative and experience to watch. World setting. Firstly, you will hear the word neighbor many times throughout this series because it's the main setting for world building, for this series. Of course, if you heard the word neighbor, you will know its definition as someone who live next door, but for this series it also has a different meaning. A neighbor is also known as near-world people, an interdimensional and extraterrestrial race of humanoids that live within the neighborhood, living within separate planets opposite to Earth. The easy way to understand this is the terms neighbor in this series means an alien that comes from another dimension. And the terms neighborhood is also known as near world, also referred to as neighbor world, is the world from another dimension where neighbors and Tryon soldiers originated, including Yuma Kuga. You can consider it as a different universe or dimension. As you can see, World Trigger world setting is infinite, and interesting. It is all about multiverse wars or multidimensional wars. There are many ways author of this series can push the story. Power system. Power system in World Trigger is actually easy to understand, but because of the unfamiliar word and terminology, it becomes confusing for a newcomer to understand, but it doesn't mean the power system for this series is bad. Actually, it's the opposite. It kinda reminds me of Hunter x Hunter and a well thought and construct power system. Tryon is produced by an invisible organ, better known as the Tryon gland. It is not known in the human world, but every human possesses this organ, located next to their heart. Every human's Tryon gland functions differently, like how an individual's strength varies. The functions of the Tryon gland are directly connected to a trigger's power. If the same trigger is used by a different person, differences will appear concerning their Tryon values. While using a trigger, the user will go into a Tryon body, which is their body made fully of Tryon. Their normal body goes into the trigger holder. They squirt out gas instead of blood if receiving damaged. If there is a significant amount of Tryon loss, the body will revert to their normal body. So basically Tryon is like a mana. Trigger. There are many types of triggers in this series. I won't spoil it for you, but I will explain the most basic one. Triggers are as a product of neighbor technology that manipulates and is powered by Tryon. Despite being often used for combat purposes, trigger technology also has other functions, and in fact, it is regarded as the cornerstone of the entire neighbor civilization. Combat-oriented triggers have massive firepower and are the only weapons capable of damaging and even destroying Tryon bodies. Triggers can differ greatly among nations. Unlike the more powerful black triggers, which are created through the self-sacrifice of a particularly gifted trigger user, normal triggers are produced through technology. Standard equipment triggers. Bailout. This standard trigger destroys the Tryon body, and engulfs the original in an inviolable Tryon barrier before transporting it back to the safety of HQ or another previously selected location. It activates either on command or automatically when the Tryon body is destroyed. C-rank agents and non-fighting personnel do not have this function because it is too costly to equip all trigger holders with it. There are all type of triggers, example attacker, gunner, sniper, and firearm. There are also custom one, and the rarest one is black trigger. A black trigger or personality trigger is an extraordinarily powerful trigger created by trigger users who have high Tryon levels, when they pour their life and Tryon into an object. Since the process inevitably results in the creator's death, black triggers are thus considered a legacy for the creator's allies. They strongly reflect the personality of the ones who created them. For this reason, they cannot be activated if there isn't compatibility between the user and the creator's personalities, a downside which normal triggers don't have. On the other hand, the performance of a black trigger is incomparable to that of a common trigger. These triggers are very rare due to the sacrifice required to create them. My personal thought from the world building, strategies, and development of all characters are all awesome, and well constructed. Everything else is perfect, especially the battle scene and strategy are very well written. The only bad thing I can think of is the animation for Season 1, it's kinda stiff maybe because it's a long-running series, so the quality of camera movement is kinda poor, but after watching Season 2 I have no doubt Season 3 will be awesome. I hope you enjoy these videos. I know it will become too long if I cover up all types of triggers exist in this series, so maybe in another video. But if you enjoy this video, click that subscribe button and leaves a comment on what anime next should I cover. Or if you enjoy this video, watch our previous video which we cover about Kemono Jihan. That's it for this video. Thank you and see you in next video.